Tall Boys and Trackmasters is brought to you by Expert Exhaust. Expect more for your money.
MTB Shock Dock, your choice for suspension needs.
And by Cycle Mart, your motorcycle parts store.
So I need to switch up to some white beer.
Truly is a tale as old as time. Whatever gets you to Richwood.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 45 of Tall Boys
and Trackmasters.
Oh,
good to have you back, James.
You as well, my friend. I didn't know if I was ever going to make it back.
We're starting to wonder.
Got to participate in the Back Roads of Appalachia's 24-hour Run for the Hills event. Was definitely a good time. Very interesting, very long. But you know, Jed and those guys, they did a really good job for that style of event. And
nice.
Yeah, look forward to the summer run, what's going to include some motorcycles coming up, man.
I'm definitely interested.
Same here. And we're actually going to have Jed on next week for next week's show to sit down with him and discuss what he's got going on and how the event went and the summer run like we were talking about. So,
nice.
Yeah. So other than being awake for almost 40 hours and feeling like my organs are still shutting down, how was your weekend, man?
It was good. It's great weather. Made the most of it. Shiloh and I went hiking Saturday, and I went out with Tyler Vincent and his brother Sunday, and we did like Fetterman, Lake School, like White Day, the whole kind of loop in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it was just so nice to get back on a bike. I hadn't been on ones, serious since probably before deer season.
Yeah.
So that was a great feeling to get back out there and hit the trails and blow the cobwebs off.
Absolutely. Well, just from all the different news reports I've seen, how many different groundhogs do we have now predicting weather?
I mean,
it's insane.
At least two.
Yeah.
At least they're in agreement. So.
Well, both of those say that we got an early spring coming, so hopefully they're correct.
Well, James, if you can't trust a rodent in this day and age, what can you trust?
Hopefully this podcast.
I would not go that far. It's free for a reason.
That's true. And I was really struggling earlier because right before the start of the event, my phone decided to completely stop working. So I had to get a new phone, and it's been a nightmare getting everything back in order for the show this evening. So, Tall Boys and technical difficulties as always. All right. Well, tonight's episode is all about some different riding gear and motorcycle gear, so to speak, that we see coming out for 2024. There's not really any particular, price point sets or, it's going to be kind of unorganized a little bit, but hopefully it'll give you a good rundown of some deals that we see, some things that we like to use, things that we have, firsthand experience with, or maybe somebody in the club does, that are good products and give you a good deal and hopefully get you a head start on your riding season for 2024. One thing that I would probably say to start with is this is the time of the year when all kinds of different gear manufacturers are kind of doing the closeout sales on their 2023 stuff.
Yep.
So there are deals out there, aren't there, man?
Without a doubt. If you are like me and spend too much time on Rocky Mountain's website, you'll see the closeouts and stuff that happen every year around this time. I know that Fly Racing has their 2023 or 2022 closeout patrol pants, which are my personal favorites. I've had 2 pairs of them.
Speaking of that, that's
like $90. That is probably the best value in dual sport pants at this moment in time. And the only difference between the previous year model and the new year model is it's a Honda approach. It's bold new graphics. They just re-released the same cut pants in the different colors.
Yeah, I've had excellent luck with my Fly stuff that I have. I used to actually I was sponsored by Fly, kind of like through that sponsor house thing or whatever. Used to run their stuff. I still have a bunch of Fly stuff in the closet, but yeah, super comfortable, really durable.
Yep.
And true to size, which is something that's kind of hard to find in this day and age, because it's like a size 34 pant in Thor is completely different than it would be for Fly. And that seems to be a big issue we see a lot lately is sizing charts are completely wrong.
Yeah, across the board. I had purchased some Icon gloves. I'd had a pair of Icons in the past and loved them because it just had a solid goat leather palm with no stitching.
Yeah.
And tried to buy 2 new pairs, and it would be great if my fingers were about an inch longer each. Like I don't understand who some of these pieces of gear are designed around, but they almost can't be human.
Yeah.
But it's really frustrating trying to buy gear online. Most retailers make it easy with their return policies and stuff, but it sucks that even on some brands, going from one model of, say, gloves to an updated or a different model of gloves, they're completely different fits. Like they're made off 2 complete different patterns.
Yeah.
It's really annoying. Helmets too. It's a nightmare trying to shop for helmets because for Bell, I'm like a large or something like that. And then I'm somebody else's medium.
Yeah. Yeah. That one thing I would say though, if you are looking for a retailer to buy from, and that's an issue, is Rocky Mountain does make it very, very nice and easy to return to get the correct size for whatever piece of gear you're buying, as long as it's in, pretty much new, unused condition.
Yep.
They'll take it back and ship you back the correct size.
Yep. I'll give you one piece. Sorry, go ahead. If I give you one piece of advice buying gear, put it all on and go sit around your house, walk around, sit on your couch. Don't be the guy that goes out on his first ride and decides those boots are too small and tries to return them, because once you use them, you own them.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, that is the case. But yeah, getting back to Fly, they've been around for years. I haven't had any issue with their stuff, and it seems to be on the cheaper side of the spectrum, but
I think it's a really good price point. I have that Fly Flux Air vintage jacket, and I've put 2 seasons in on it. It's held up great. I mean, you know how much time I spend on the ground, so it's been very durable, and it's really breathable. If I know I'm going to be hitting a lot of pavement and I want that that Kevlar protection, everything, it's the go-to. But all the Fly stuff I've ever owned has been really decent. Yeah,
same here. And even when it's not really like on a closeout sale, their stuff is still a good price. It's competitive, and it always seems very light to me as well. A lot of the, I don't really. I'd say like maybe I've had a lot of O'Neill stuff and some Thor riding outfits, and they kind of seem a little heavy on you as you ride throughout the day. But the Fly stuff is super light right off the bat. So.
Yep.
Yeah, $149 right now. Closeout, good deal. All right. One of the next things you kind of mentioned it here a little bit earlier was boots. Make sure you get the right size boots. And I like how you sent this to me, because this is going to be like on the super high end of the spectrum, and then kind of the back down to earth, the everyday guy type of thing. But the new Tech 7 Alpine Star Dry Star boots, $460.
I didn't pay that much for mine. I bought them before the inflation hit.
Yeah.
But,
go ahead and show the people, Trav.
I haven't owned a lot of boots, but these are definitely my favorites that I've had. I've had like Forma Adventure boots that were just too floppy. I've got another boot that we're going to talk about too from Alpine Stars, but it's just your classic 4-buckle boot. I think the dry liner comes all the way up to here. I seem to have a habit of always getting in over top of that, but like for splashes and stuff like that, it's really it works really well, especially going up like 13 Creeks or something like that. But the reason I like these boots so much is they have an Enduro lug sole, both the heel and the toe, and you do get enough traction for walking around. These are actually really comfortable. I know a lot of people have apprehensions about an Enduro style boot. We've come a long way since like the bargain bin special mid 2000s Frankenstein boots that you couldn't move in, right?
Yeah.
They have the dual-sided biomechanical hinge. They're extremely comfortable. I've worn these for 8-10 hours at a time, and absolutely love them. When these wear out, I'll go and buy another pair. So I think this is about as good as you're going to get without going to like a CD Crossfire or a Guerney or one of the higher end like $600 plus boots.
Yeah.
I think this is a really solid option.
I do have a question on those. Do they have a toe plate on the very end, or is it all like kind of formed around?
It's all just a composite sole.
Okay, that's good, because that's one problem that I've had and a lot of other people have with some of the cheaper boots, maybe like a set of O'Neill's or something. You have the steel toe plate. Well, that steel toe plate also is what encapsulates and closes the very end of the boot. And if you're like us and you're out, putting your feet out and hitting off rocks, everything else, that toe plate will eventually start peeling itself off, and that's what closes the end of the boot. And then when you're riding down the road, you lose that little toe plate. You're sitting there going to be laughing and talking to people with your boot.
These actually go completely all the way around. I've never had the issue of having them separate, and I've got a set of Tech 3s that I have 3 years on, and they held up fantastic.
Yeah, that's the same I have, is a set of Tech 3s too.
You get some of these soles that are hard as a rock,
yeah,
and you're just it's constantly slipping off your pegs, and then on the other side you get really gummy soft soles that absolutely get destroyed on your pegs pretty quick. I think this is a really happy medium.
Yeah. And it is nice to see, Alpine Star and other boot companies like kind of dedicating that to the enduro side, where they put an actual traction, sole type on the bottom, because I know for years kind of the trick was in the dual sport world, if you wanted a full-on motocross boot that you could ride off-road and still be able to walk around and not feel like you're going to fall face down into the dirt, was to get a set of ATV boots, because they actually had the kind of traction soles on them. So I know that was a trick that they used to use back in the day. But it is nice to see them, make a dedicated dual sport boot now.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan. Like I said, I'll wear those out and go buy another pair. By that point in time, they'll probably be $600, but what can you do?
Yep. Well, you want to play, you got to pay sometimes. And it really isn't any other good boot.
We've said it in a previous episode. After a good helmet, for me, is good boots.
Yeah.
That's why I got away from like the Forma adventure boots that offer little or no support. My riding boots have saved my lower legs, my ankles, my feet, etc., from a lot of stuff, because going through some of these tighter sections and stuff, it's nothing to have a branch reach out and grab your foot, or get a little bit too close to a rock and it folds your foot peg back, kicks your foot off the peg, and you want all the protection that you can get. So
when we went down and rode the Brandywine Boogaloo there last year, I've got a set of their O'Neill riders. I think they're just kind of the cheap motocross boot. And we were coming down off of Flagpole Knob, and I was coming around a corner, and there was a probably 2-inch diameter stick that was sticking out right into the trail, and it was around a blind corner. It was one of those deals you couldn't see it till it was too late, and I actually hit that boot right on the strap, the bottom strap.
I remember that.
It blew the strap apart. It ripped the boot apart, and it really did hurt pretty freaking bad. And I had to kind of milk that the rest of the weekend. But Alpine Star stuff is definitely offers a lot more protection than anything like O'Neill's going to have. And definitely a fan of Alpine Star stuff.
Yeah, I think it's if you're serious about it, I think it's definitely worth the money to make the jump.
And maybe you're not fully on board with spending that kind of money on a set of boots. Alpine Star does have the Tech 3 Enduros.
So this was my this is my first set of Alpine Stars. These are Tech 3 Enduros. Same sole. These have a lot of hours on them, so they're the lugs and stuff are pretty well worn down now. These aren't waterproof, but mine were very water resistant for like 2 out of the 3 years I ran them.
Yeah.
They're a 3-buckle boot. They offer a little less protection than the Tech 7s. They're a little less comfortable, but they're still plenty comfortable to put in long hours. I think right now you can buy these for under $200 on a couple different websites. Probably as far as like serious dual sport / enduro boots go in this price range, I'd say this is your best option for the money.
Yep.
What do you think?
I'm very happy with the ones I have. Back when I was still racing Mountain State Hare Scrambles, ended up getting a good deal on a pair of those that somebody had bought, and they were wrong size. I've got some big feet. I got size 13, so sometimes it's hard to find Alpine Stars in my size. But I rocked those for a year and a half racing. Had no issues with them whatsoever. Super comfy. Like you said, they're not completely waterproof, but they're pretty decent as long as you don't get up very high in the water.
Yeah, that's my problem. You don't get the nickname Aquaman by staying dry, but
yeah, but once I got out of racing, these things kind of sat around in the garage. I wasn't really doing a whole lot with them.
Yeah.
I actually considered selling them. And then when the O'Neills got blown apart at Brandywine, I switched back and started wearing these while I'm dual sporting again, and I'm tickled to death with them. So
I'm a huge fan. Like I said, they can't protect you from everything, but they've protected me from a lot.
Yeah. They're and for that price, that's pretty good. Pretty good boot.
I think a lot of people, like I said, they're really apprehensive towards trying a more serious boot. They're convinced they want something like the Forma it really just doesn't offer support. I mean, you can grab the thing and just bend it, however you want. And I think people remember the cheaper boots they would have worn like as a kid that you really couldn't move your ankle, you really couldn't shift. There's a lot better options out there now for really good price points.
Yeah, I know there's some stuff out there on the market too that's kind of marketed as dual sport boots, which are like nothing more than a hiking boot with 2 straps on it.
Yep.
Don't take it from me. Do not wear those whenever you're out riding. I don't even care if you're just commuting to work back and forth. Those things they're not good for you. They don't offer any ankle support. And it seemed like every single time I rode one with a pair of those, something was flying up off the road and hit me right in the shin where I had no protection. So.
Or since you had your Kickstart only XR at that point in time, you're really a glutton for punishment, rocking boots with no shin protection, huh?
I got something, it's funny you mentioned XR 650R because there's one of those and had to layer down here in a little bit. So
sweet.
Looking forward to that.
Yep. Yeah,
but just get a full form boot. I know we've talked about that before in the past.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where the form is more comfortable, yes, because they just fit like a hiking boot, like a field boot, and moved like one. But that's not necessarily what you want when you're, hitting some of these sections of trail. You wipe out or whatever. You don't want to have to worry about your feet, near to this great of an extent. And I know some guys think they'll be okay in like hiking boots and like logging boots and stuff like that. And it's like almost everything else. It's okay right up until the point when it's not.
Yeah.
And then you'll be wishing, that you would have picked a boot with a little bit better protection after you've gotten hurt, Yeah.
Well, speaking of protection, let's move on to the next item on the list here. And that is a set of Leatt dual axis knee and shin guards. It's $100.
So can you go dig my knee braces out?
I got a picture of it too here. We can pull up real quick.
Yeah, I've had these for like 3 years, right? What side's this? left. So my right one's taken some pretty nasty diggers and stuff. I wear these inside the pants, and they still get pretty scarred up over time. I wear these with just regular Thor knee sleeves, and it's not a full-on knee brace. It won't protect you like one. I don't necessarily ride aggressive enough to go full-on knee brace. I did buy a pair and run them for probably 3/4 of last season. So here's a Leatt X-frame knee brace, and I might try the C-frames that don't have the medial hinge at some point, but this really just kept tripping me up, like getting stuck on the plastics that go into my gas tank, or I don't want to have to mold my body position around a piece of equipment.
Yeah.
They're reasonably comfortable. If I raced or rode competitively, I'd be a lot more apt to go back to these. It sucks I spent the money to learn the lesson that they weren't quite for me, but they're honestly a really good option if you're looking for something that serious. But
Yeah.
like I said, these are the daily driver. Every time I go out, I'm running these. I'm good about keeping my feet on the pegs and whatnot, so I'm a lot more just worried about impact. And these have saved me many a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are a good price, cheap protection, and they're fairly comfortable. Like you said, they're the full-on knee braces. You will find that they catch on your boots or maybe inside your pants or something on your bike, and it's a compromise sometimes to determine what you want and what you actually need. And a lot of times the safety stuff that you might go overboard with, it hinders your riding.
That was my experience. I actually almost put myself over the bars because of my knee braces. Out in Fetterman Hollow, there's that one real steep, it's probably only about a 6-foot drop or something like that. The side-by-sides have bored out. It's like dropping off a bank.
Yeah.
I tried to shift my weight back over the rear fender going down over that, and my knee brace hung up on the plastic under the gas tank, and I couldn't shift my weight back, and I just kept feeling the back tire come further and further up off the ground. So I after that really started to analyze, like, well, how many times have they done something like this that almost tripped me up? That's
Right.
when I just went back to the Leatt dual axis. I've tried the Fox non-hinged knee pads and really didn't care for them. They didn't stay put. And I guess speaking of staying put, I know a lot of guys think they're okay with the pants that have the knee pads put in. I've only owned 2 pairs of pants that had knee pads, but it seemed that they never stayed put.
Yeah.
And, that's too much of a dice roll for me to just hope that the knee pad's in the right place when I need it versus, with something like this with 3 elastic straps or whatever, it just stays put.
Yeah.
Even at 100% or 100%, even at 90 degrees of knee flexion, this still completely covers your kneecap and everything.
Yeah.
Like I said, they've saved me several times from, at minimum, some pretty nasty goose eggs.
Yeah. That's good. Next thing on the docket is a product that recently came out kind of towards the end of 2023. And this is another one of those companies that just continues to cater to our sport and, great guys to work with and people that we really like to order from. And that is a set of the Tusk Traverse pannier bags. I've got a picture of those here. And you can see, nylon webbing. It has the ability to kind of add their big giant tail bag into it as well. The thing I'll say about the Tusk Pannier X, they're waterproof, and the shape is nice on them. They seem a little bit slimmer and more apt to fit the lack of side number plates that are on a lot of these bikes nowadays.
I was about to say, we're KTM guys, right? Euro style bike guys. The side plates on those bikes aren't big, so you get like the classic Nelson rig bags or something like that, and you're really fighting for any amount of space to put those.
Right.
I'm really interested in trying the Tusk Traverse pannier bags. I know John Trotto had a set on his Yamaha XT, and I really like the overall fitment and everything. Just for like for day trips, especially like early spring, you're going to start out with a jacket or whatever, or maybe some rain gear. You don't want to throw it in a backpack. It's nice to make your bike carry some of that weight. And
Yeah.
based on what I've seen, unless you want to turn around and do a Giant Loop or a Moscow Moto, which they're both very well engineered, very well made, and are priced accordingly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, let's take another look at these here. And one thing that I did read was the straps are so adjustable, and he's a lot more than the Nelson rig setup, where you can move that thing back or up and down to the side. With the Nelson rig stuff, you're kind of stuck with what you got there. And I know a lot of times, like we said earlier, you'll find that it hits the exhaust, so you're having to buy one of those little spacer exhaust shields to get the bags off of there. But the tough stuff is kind of more engineered for the slimmer, modern day bikes that don't have hardly any type of side panel.
that's one of my favorite things about Rocky Mountain ATVMC and Tusk is they do really well at filling niches in the market, like identifying shortcomings with other manufacturers and producing gear to suit. I'm a huge fan of that. Like I said, the only other options are like Giant Loop has an offering that's of similar size. I think Moscow Motos either has one or is currently prototyping it. I saw on Instagram, and they're expensive.
Yeah,
comparatively.
Yeah, they're 2 or 3 times the price of the Tusk.
But it's one thing. I don't know. We talked about the supporting Chinese companies and all this stuff, and I'm entirely aware of where Tusk stuff is produced. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like I don't know if I can justify $400 or more for a bag that's big enough to hold like 2 tall boys in each side or something like that. So it's just steep, and they did not used to be near as expensive, but as the brand has gained popularity, especially in the adventure bike community,
right,
the price has changed to suit.
Yeah, and you got to think any type of bag that you put on your bike, especially like the soft luggage and even hard luggage too. You're taking a chance of ripping that thing off or destroying it, in a bad crash. So, personally, for me, I'd rather waste $100 as compared to $400 for a set of Wolfmans or Moscow Motos or something like that.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about Wolfman. Ask Chad Johnson. He laid his Aprilia down and suffered damage to one of his side bags. It happens quick, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. So, also speaking of gear. Which I did have a picture of it, and I don't have it here now for some reason. But organizing your gear, especially on like the trips that we go to, is something that's essential. It makes your packing a lot lighter. And MSR has you covered with the MSR gear bag. It's $40. Let me see if I can quickly pull up a picture of it there. I know I had one saved. I'm not sure what happened.
That's something I definitely need to invest in.
Yeah, here we go. Add that on there, and we'll pull it right up on the screen.
Nice. Yeah, currently, if I want to take all my gear in something, I have to empty out like one of the boxes we have all our camping gear in, and it's just not convenient in the slightest.
Yeah, MSR gear bag. It's big enough to fit your helmet, your riding outfit, gloves, goggles, lots of different size pockets on the thing. It's not that much money. It's $40. Yeah, that's a heck of a deal for a gear bag, in my opinion.
Something else that's really good about having a dedicated gear bag is you can have items that you always want to make sure you have on hand, like chapstick, wet wipes, just basic stuff like that. Just leave it in there all the time, so you never have to worry about like getting out to Brandywine or somewhere like that and realizing you need it but you don't have it.
Yeah. I remember years ago I used to have a Yamaha gear bag, and it was it was yellow, like the Bob Hurricane Hannah graphic kit, yellow Yamaha stuff. And I used to love that thing, and unfortunately I lost it in our house fire. But
No.
Yeah, just having a gear bag where you can, like you said, leave stuff in there that you're not going to be using all the time, and keeps it out of the way. I think the first year we went down to Brandywine, I literally just had like a trash bag, just throwing all my stuff in, and man,
I remember.
it was everywhere. Just felt it wasn't a good setup. So I definitely made sure I'm going to get me another gear bag in the future. Speaking of MSR, I'm glad to see. I would kind of consider it a resurgence in MSR stuff because, it's Malcolm Smith Racing. Malcolm Smith is the legend. He's the man when it comes to off-road racing back in the day. But, you didn't really hear a whole lot about them here in the last 5-10 years. It seemed like they kind of fell off the face of the earth. They weren't really offering a whole lot of products, but it seems here lately they are kind of picking up the game when it comes to dual sport and off-road stuff. One of their huge products they have out right now is their full line of Explorer jackets and pants, which from what everybody's saying, it's climb or clim quality without that price tag as well. Lots of adjustability. I know Rocky Mountain is a big proponent, and a lot of those guys run that stuff. And along with that, they have a new helmet out that I actually want to try.
Yeah, me too.
Is the MSR Expedition helmet. It's $160. It says it's super lightweight. Looks fairly comfy from what I can see. Like a nice large face opening.
Yep.
That's a lot of
good for goggles, but you still have the option for a visor.
Yeah. Got the MIPS system in it, which is kind of standing now.
Huge fan of MIPS. This has been my daily driver for, ever since I got into the riding. So it's been like since 2019. It's a Bell MX9 MIPS.
I have the same one.
Shot of the Randy Savage sticker, courtesy of Shiloh, and I love this thing. I mean, I love this helmet. It doesn't breathe that great, but it's comfortable and
it's light,
it's extremely durable. It's lightweight, and I bought this at a time when very few companies below like the $400 threshold were offering MIPS.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's become more commonplace now. And I'd kind of like to point out, like, we're in like the golden era of affordable helmets that offer good protection.
Yep.
Like, gone are the days of an extremely expensive Shoei or similar. I mean, you can get sub $200 helmets that have the same ECE ratings or Snell ratings, the same MIPS system, et cetera, for a very reasonable amount of money for what you're getting.
Yep.
The gap between like the no-name Amazon special styrofoam helmet that's probably not going to do you many favors to a helmet that offers as good a protection as like a Bell MX9 or something like that. Like, that gap closes more and more every year.
Right.
I think that's big, with safety and all that stuff.
Yep. Yeah, like I have a Bell MX9 as well. Came from a Fly Racing helmet. I think me and you both kind of come from the same helmets there. I like the Fly, but it was heavy. Like, it was super heavy after a long day of riding. Your neck would be killing you. And this Bell was half the weight of what that Fly helmet was.
Yeah.
Super happy with it. And that new MSR, kind of something else that maybe if down the road I need a helmet, I'd like to try out as well.
It looks very similar. I'm on year 5, coming into year 5, I guess. So this thing, once you sweat a little bit in it, starts to smell like a farm. Starts to smell like livestock. I can't wash it anymore really and take any more of the smell out. Like, it's just part of the foam now. So I don't know if you can just buy like liner kits. Otherwise, I'm probably going to have to look into something here soon because it's starting to get a little grody. But same deal as the MSR. It came with a visor initially. Took it off and just run goggles now. And the opening and everything's great for goggles. I'll run like 100% Strata 2s, which is a larger frame goggle. And that's the thing that sucks about some of these adventure bike helmet offerings is they're intended to be used only with a visor.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people complain about trying to fit different brands of goggles into some of these helmets.
Yep. I still have the visor on my Bell, and I'm able to run goggles and run the visor too.
Yep.
So it's
For a while, I would do that if it was especially dusty. I'd have my goggles on and flip my visor down.
Yep. Yeah, you can do that. And I would say that you could probably do that with the MSR too. It looks very similar. Let's go to, maybe kind of back on the cheap end of the spectrum. Obviously, the standard when it comes to cheap riding outfits has to be Amazon's HWK brand. But there's another brand out there that you're starting to see pop up that I actually have the mesh set for like my summer riding, and that is the new Noru brand. So this is the Noru Basau 3/4 waterproof jacket. The jacket's $70. The pants are like $59. Here's a quick picture of the cold weather version. I know my dad has this jacket in red, and I've tried it on. It's super comfortable, and it's a lot more formed than the HWK stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The HWK stuff is just kind of straight down, and the Noru stuff kind of feels like it was made to fit a human and not just a mannequin. Kind of like the
You want to show off your hourglass figure? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, you got to show off the love handles for the ladies out there. But I actually have the Noru mesh jacket.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is super lightweight. It has like kind of shoulder armor and elbow pads kind of built into the jacket. And I don't feel like they move a lot like the pants do. These are kind of stuck in place. The one thing I will say about this Noru stuff is we were talking about earlier how things aren't really made to size. The Noru is probably the worst. I normally wear a double XL jacket when it comes to any kind of other gear. And when I ordered this, the sizing chart was the same as all the other ones. It said pretty much I needed a double XL jacket. I had to order a 4X jacket for this thing to fit me correctly. And especially on the mesh stuff, it's not real long. So even I had to go up a size just so that it would kind of come down and cover my belly,
Yeah.
But I've had good luck with this so far. Ran it a whole riding season. It's got got adjustable straps to cinch it in. There's 2 pockets on the sides. There's pockets on the inside to put whatever you want in there. And it also has belt loops and stuff on the bottom, which connect to the Noru pants so that you're all kind of one gear together.
Yeah, my
less than $100.
Jacket's almost identical to that.
Yep, I'm extremely happy with it so far. So if you're looking to still kind of stay on the cheap side but buy a little higher quality dual sport riding stuff, the Noru is probably the way to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, the price gap's not that significant either.
No, it's like $10 more than HWK stuff, and it's way better than $10 quality stuff.
I mean, in this day and age, for less than the price of a cheeseburger, you could you get better gear.
It's very true.
So,
one of the last little bits of stuff that I have on here, we kind of touched on Nelson Rig before. I'm going to bring up their Trails End tank bag. I have this thing. It's $79.99. I would give Nelson Rig props on the tank bag. This thing fits better than any other tank bag I've tried to run. See, I have one right here. I got this on my KTM.
Been using this is like a Gen 1 Tusk Olympus or whatever.
Yeah, very, very similar.
Yep.
Similar. Comes with 4 straps. Now, on my KTM, I actually run the front straps, which are supposed to go around the neck of the frame. I run them through the holes on the Acerbis gas tank that I have. Yep. Because I got so much stuff up around the neck of the frame, it tends to bind when you're moving. But ran this for about 1.5 years now. The zippers still work perfectly. It's fairly waterproof. It actually does come with a little rain fly cover to make it completely waterproof.
Okay.
Super adjustable. Once you cinch down, it doesn't move. It's got kind of a rubberized coating to kind of help stick the stuff around on the bottom of the tank. It's got a really big opening. It's a good middle ground on size, as far as being able to hold stuff, but not be so big that it's up in your.
As far as that monstrosity Dan Farnsworth had on his KTM from Giant Loop, that thing looked like an adult-sized backpack on a gas tank. Like, it was huge.
I've got one. It's actually a factory KTM tank bag for like a big 1290 that our buddy Luke gave me off of his. He was running on his Tenere. I got it on the Versus right now, and it looks like it's the size of the gas tank on the Versus. It's absolutely huge. But yeah, I've been super tickled to death with this thing. It's got a clear pocket on the front, so you can put your cell phone or whatnot up there, stuff you want to get to quickly. And then it also does have a little Velcro access hole in the front, so if you want to run like a phone charger out, or maybe a set of earbuds, whatever you want out the front of that thing. $79, pretty good quality. And Nelson Rig, they actually do have kind of a lifetime warranty on their stuff. If you're the original owner and you do have an issue with it, you can send it back. I've got their Trails In tail bag on my KTM, and I'm not real happy with it, but one of the zippers broke on it there towards the end of last year, and I was able to send it back and get a replacement for free. So
Nice.
it's off the Nelson Rig for kind of sticking behind their stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. This is related to the whole like front end luggage thing. I think 2 years ago, whatever, Fred's brother Bud gave me a Giant Loop handlebar bag, and I run my entire toolkit in here because I just take this off of the bike, whichever bike, and put it on whichever I'm going to go ride. And I don't have to worry about like swapping a tank bag over or anything like that. But like I've got, like the multi-tool, an adjustable wrench, and then like my full little toolkit that's, pretty pared down. You've seen it pulled out plenty of times. So
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan. And these, as far as Giant Loop stuff goes, this is actually pretty affordable. It's really well made. I would buy one with my own money.
Yeah.
So I really like it. I think that combined with a medium-sized tank bag is a great combination.
Yeah. I'm not really a fan of carrying like a big backpack, man. It just seems like you're just fighting it all day long. And then especially like if you ride with my mom, she likes to put giant rocks in your backpack when you're not looking to make it feel like you're getting more tired throughout the day.
Yep. So that's something too, is the whole hydration and
Speaking of that, I'm going to grab mine real quick. I swear I got a mess coming over to my garage there now. So I can't really say that I bought this. It was a gift from friends of the show, but this is the Leatt OBX Enduro Cargo 5 hydration pack that I have. This thing is really, really cool. It carries, I think it's like 20 liters of a 20-liter bladder. There's another one. It has actually little strap mounts if you want to run like a GoPro right there. Got a little holder. I was actually able to put the clip for our little Baofeng radio in this thing and run it right on my strap, which was really nice.
I love the chest rig style.
Yeah.
So I ran a Camelback Lobos for 3-4 years. I loved it. I'd buy another one, but I vastly prefer the Leatt. I've only had one ride on it, but it does not move.
Yeah.
It stays put. It is extremely well thought out with like the tool pouches and everything. And I think overall it's just better suited for the harder side of enduro than something like this.
And you can also see on the inside of this one here, it actually has like a memory foam kind of chest protector piece kind of made into the back. And this thing works, man. I got bucked off the bike and fell backwards right onto a rock. Didn't even feel it. It didn't puncture the little bladder inside the too. So yeah, it's got lots of storage in there, plenty of straps to cinch this thing down. Like you said, it does not move. The bite valve is very rider friendly. A lot of the ones that I've had in the past, you have to constantly sit there and try to hold it down and pull a lever or something else to make it come flowing out. The Lead is really, really well thought out. And I don't know if yours has this too, but this one actually has kind of a wire strap set up on the back to where if you were walking around, say you're broke down, you could actually strap your helmet to the back of this thing and carry it with you.
Nice. Mine's a Trail WP. It's a little bit more stripped down than yours, a little bit more lightweight, but that works out fine for me because that's what I prefer.
Yep.
But I've got a couple of D-rings on here. I think at some point I want to get like an elastic net to where I can connect all these. And anytime we're out riding, I'm always trying to pick up like garbage, beer cans, try to keep stuff clean. So AJ had I think Fly Racing pack that had like a little zipper pocket you could open and a little mesh net would come out. And that was extremely convenient. So I'd like to have something like that. But, having dry storage for your trail tools and all your stuff is, works out really good.
Just doing a quick little search on Google. Everything I'm seeing is that those things are around $120 to $130, which I would, after running it, I would 100% buy one of those with my own money. I mean, it's going to beat any type of Ozark Trail or Camelback setup that you can buy.
Yep. I figured I'd just go try it, and I was definitely pouring the steam on a couple sections on Sunday, and like I said, it just did not shift around at all.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Anything else that you could think of, gear or brand-wise, you want to talk about?
I mean, we've kind of touched on. Unfortunately, there's not a ton of stuff coming out that's new and exciting. It's mostly the same old stuff with different colors. I see late 90s colors are making a comeback. The purples, the blues, like the obnoxious color schemes. So I am actually really excited for that. I wish stuff would be a different color than gray and black. Coming from a guy that wears just gray and black gear, but I think we touched on about all of it. So
let's go through some of the comments that we've got this evening. Let me pull up the old backup cell phone here to be able to see who commented on what. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm still brain fogged from the rally.
I got you.
Let's pull this up here. First one says, hello. Not really sure who that was from. I'll take your gloves. So somebody wants to buy your gloves.
That was from Tom King.
I'll take your gloves.
I'll put them by the door and get them to you at some point in the future. If I don't have use for them. They're oddly sized.
Yep. Let's see here. It's my buddy Eric Bendig. Those size 12s, nah, they 915s. I keep them tight though.
They 10s, but I keep them clean though.
Congratulations on the newborn, by the way, Eric. Hope you enjoyed your sleep that you maybe were getting before that. Lisa and Rob got to go do the 24-hour rally event there in the old ZR2 Blazer. I think we caught up to them around before you drop down in New River Gorge, somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So got to see them for a little bit there. The only pant worth a darn with Flies, their off-road patrol pant, had 2 pairs. Their women's crappy yoga pants material didn't survive 30 miles at TLR. The seam split. They gave me another pair, same deal, unless 30 miles again. I asked them, why did women actually wear this when they were riding off-road or only on MX track? Yeah, I've heard that on a lot of women's gear, especially, with my mom and my sister growing up racing, that, it just seemed like whatever their idea of a woman was is what they made the pant to be, which is just a slightly modified version of a men's pants. So hopefully nowadays there's some companies out there legit making some gear that fit ladies out there.
I know that Leatt puts a lot of effort into making stuff for both men and women that's supposed to be like same build quality, same functionality, etc. It's not just, a lighter version that's in a feminine color.
Yeah. Mark Niggemeyer says, no boot can protect your toes when it gets between a rock and a foot peg, and I have hell of a half a toe to prove it. Thank you, Blackwater. Oh, yeah, there's some horror stories out there with that stuff. Next one up here. I'm trying to figure out. This one will be. It says, I love my 21-year-old 100-ounce Camelback only, not a backpack, since I'm a big drinker when riding, but Camelback supports enviro-Nazis. When it comes time to replace it, I'm going to have to find another brand. Thanks for sharing. Yep.
Yep,
Wow.
the Camelback does directly support the people that want to shut your trails down. So that's vote with your dollars on that one. I got my Camelback as a gift.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Leat, so I would say that's definitely an option to run.
Yep, I'd like I said, I'd definitely rock another one. You know, it's interesting. We'll have guys come to 304 Detour that are decked out in all matching gear, head to toe, helmet, the boots, you know, full riding outfit, backpack, and you and I really just kind of look like bargain bin guys because we both got gear that's just kind of patched together from. It's like I got Alpine Star boots, fly racing pants, Elite bag now, a Bell helmet, you know, a couple different riding jerseys, and I think my cold weather jackets from some company called Sedici or something like that. And oh no,
Listen, man, I don't have time to care. I don't have time.
I don't either. I'm out there to ride.
I'm out there to ride.
All that gear is going to get thrashed anyway, so I really don't care what it looks like now because I know what it's going to look like in 6 months.
Yeah, I don't want to like rag on people or not, but it seems like those people that do show up to events that are in the full matching everything, usually the guys that can't ride very well.
Yep. Yeah. Not that we came out and said that, but
I'll come out and say it.
Yeah. A Venn diagram of those two demographics is two circles that just barely touch by like 4 atoms right in the middle.
Yeah,
I mean, I've noticed the same thing.
They're probably the Starbucks BMW guys that they rode one off-road trail in their entire life and couldn't finish it, and then go back to the doctor's office and talk about how hardcore they are.
I mean, don't be too hard on them, man. Dentists need to ride too.
Well, I won't be too critical of that crowd because you know we do have an optometrist with us. It's pretty much a so.
He is a cool guy. We need to get down to Weston and do some of his loops soon.
Yeah, I'd like to do that this year. I know we keep talking about it, but let's try to do it this year.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about some industry news here coming out. MV Augusta has received an injection of new life from the KTM Capital Investments. Infrastructure and retooling efforts at their Sherwana, Italia facility aims to be able to produce up to 100 bikes a day. That's a pretty lofty goal, I think, for a company like that.
Yes.
But it is nice to see KTM and Husky, you know, what is that, the Pierre Mobility Group, try to branch out and, you know, in all honesty, save that company because they were not looking good to start with. Yep.
Honestly, I was under the impression that MV Augusta was already owned by like some Chinese shell company.
Yeah, they were one of the last Italian holdouts, and then you know KTM kind of threw them a lifeline and saved. AIM Expo is going on right now, which is something that I was kind of sad that me and you couldn't go do. I would love for us to be able to go to some type of you know vendor show or expo like that. I think it would behoove us and make a great episode.
I know my way around Las Vegas, so if they hold it there again next year, I'll go show you the sights.
That'd be something to talk about there. Yeah. But the talk of the AIM Expo on the motorcycle side of things was the Cove rallies and the CF Moto bikes.
The Triumph too. Posting pictures of Triumph's new motocross bike appears to use identical fuel pump to the KTM. So I'm curious to see if that's the same part. But
yeah, and the last little bit of news there is Moto Guzzi has kind of stepped back into the hardcore adventure bike realm with the new Stelavo. It has the same engine as the V100 Mandello, so it's another 100 horsepower. You know, I don't know what you would really call that engine on the Moto Guzzis. They're almost like an old Honda CX500, where it's like a V twin that's sticking like longitudinally. They're kind of odd, but you know, it gives you another option out there in the adventure bike market. Pricing and further specs to come on that as well.
Yeah, pretty pretty exciting. We've said it several times. All the stuff that is coming out right now, it's really like some kind of resurgence with with bike models. I never thought that we'd be in a position we'd be seeing this much stuff come out all at once. It's too much to keep track of, really.
Yeah. We're spoiled, man. This segment is growing, and hopefully it continues to grow. Well, you ready for a little had to layer down?
Boy, am I ever.
I know this one here, as we've referred to before, there's some XR650R clippings. There's some back of a truck cab clippings. So let's let this play out and see what we got here.
Did you run into some clippings? Did Barb take the kids? Well, Hoss, maybe you had to lay her down.
Never get tired of that. All right, so let's see here. We got technical difficulties as always.
I love it.
Let me get this screen pulled up here to share. There we go. All right, we got it now.
Perfect product for every kind of ride.
We're good.
RevZilla is the best shopping experience for the motorcycle enthusiast.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Visit
right. There we go. So this is a guy trying to load up a XR650R in the back of a pickup truck, and he 100% looks like the type of guy that Barb took the kids and everything else is going on in his life. So you never want to be angrily loading your bike up. You see him just rip the sweatshirt off, throw it to the side. He's had enough. Barb took the kids. He's going to go ride today. See him flopping into gear. Just don't do things. Don't try to load a bike angry like this guy, I think would be my main point.
I know where it's going, and I'm here for it. I can't wait. He almost stuck the landing.
Shoe flew off and everything.
Yep. Note to self: tie boots.
Well, I think I'm just going to let
this leaves it run.
Make sure that I turn the camera off and let the bike just sit there and run wide open in the bed of my pickup truck. So.
It's probably fine. What kind of truck was that? I didn't get a good look.
I think it was a Toyota, I believe.
Oh yeah. I was going to say if it was a Ford Ranger, at least he could have only done like a combined $5,000 of damage between the two of them.
All right. Well, we have a busy week next week for the show.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to have Jedediah Smith from Backroads of Appalachia on for an interview on Tuesday. And then we will be heading down south to Charleston for the West Virginia Adventure Travel Day as part of FDSR. And we will have two tables set up there, one for the club and one for us to do a little live podcast from the Capitol. So hopefully we can get some guys down from the our segment and industry to chat a little bit about what's going on in their lives, and looking forward to going down there, man. It should be a good time.
Yeah, I'm excited to do a little more networking.
Yeah, it's always good to do that.
Meet some new people.
Yeah, never know. Get some more people on the show, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, we appreciate you all tuning in again tonight. Sorry about the delay, and we'll see you next Tuesday with a live interview with Jed from Backroads of Appalachia.
Yep,
thanks for watching.
Good. Thanks,
Have a
guys.
good night.